I don't see it as, quote unquote, genocidal alert. These are very disturbing incident that is happening. I see this as a violation of constitutional ideals, rule of law, and targeting one particular community by the state. Either it's NRC or what is recently happening in Darang and across the Assam with regard to eviction. So this is misusing the power by the state to target Muslim community. That's what I see. I have utmost faith in the Indian Constitution and the people of this country, and I don't see, as of now, I don't see genocide happening as of now. I mean, I'm not an alarmist. I believe in the rule of law, in the Indian Constitution, in the people of our country, and I see this as a gross violation of our constitutional norms and the rule of law.
So how is one recognized as an illegal migrant? Can you explain us?
See, there are two processes initially. One is the border police who accuse people of being illegal migrant. There are some border police organizations who has their presence across all police stations across Assam. And there is Election Commission of India who since 1997, they're marking people as a doubtful voter or D-voter. Both these processes are random process. They, randomly accuse people of being illegal migrant without any investigation whatsoever. The investigation is a part of the fundamental rights. Fair investigation is our fundamental rights, enshrined in the Article 21 of the Constitution of India. So one, the right, fundamental right to fair investigation is denied. Indian citizens are randomly accused of being illegal migrant, and they are sent to, the case is referred to the Foreigners Tribunal, where you need to provide a robust set of documentations to provide your to prove your citizenship. It is not that people are undocumented. Every person I know or I have fought cases, everyone has document, but the problem is, people are arbitrarily their citizenship is stripped, and without following the due process for minor ridiculous anomalies in the voter list and the other another citizenship documents. So that's how peoples are stripped of their citizenship. And the third process is the NRC. Now, NRC was started in the year 2015 by order of the Supreme Court, where every resident of Assam had to submit and document of either themselves or their ancestors who were a resident of Assam before 25th March 1971. Now, there were various rounds of verification and hearing, particularly the Bengali Muslims and Bengali Hindus had to go through various rounds of these hearings at far away places across Assam. And after 5 years process, the citizenship list, the NRC final list was published on 31st of August 2019, where 1.9 million people were excluded, mostly Hindus. Subsequently, the CAA was brought in to protect people who are not Muslims. And the rule was that, these people who are excluded from the NRC will be given rejection slips or reasons why they have been excluded from the NRC list. But 2 years have passed till now. There has been no rejection slips. They have not been given the reasons, telling why they have been excluded from the NRC.
So how many people do you think are being accused of being illegal migrants?
I don't think, but there is a figure. So one, there is an NRC where 1.9 million people have been excluded. They will have to prove their citizenship before the Foreigners Tribunal. Till now, 150,000 people, around 150,000 people have been stripped of their citizenship and rendered stateless. The number, it kept fluctuating. A year ago, I saw the number, the people who were accused of being foreigners were around 4 lakhs, roughly. Even the governments, they keep giving different figures. So yeah, the number a year ago was around 4.5 lakhs.
So how are these foreign tribunals working?
So that's what I say, that foreigners tribunals works in a very arbitrary manner. One, the statute which is applied here is the Foreigners Tribunal for Foreigners Act 1946, which has its roots in the 1939 Foreigners Ordinance, which was a wartime ordinance. Subsequently, Foreigners Act came into being from a wartime legislation, where the burden of proof is on the accused, the people who is accused of being an illegal migrant. In 1964, the government brought an executive order called the Foreigners Tribunal Order 1964, by which Foreigners Tribunal were set up. Now, the tribunals across India, apart from Foreigners Tribunal, all tribunals are a creation of a legislation, but this is the only tribunal which is a creation of an executive order, and has no, legislative, did not go through the legislature. Initially, it said that any person who has judicial experience, which mean to say people who were judges or retired judges can be Foreigners Tribunal member. But subsequently, the experience, the eligibility was relaxed to lawyers of 10 years of experience. In 2019, they relaxed the eligibility again to 7 years of experience. So the tribunal member mostly are inexperienced, briefless lawyer, and because citizenship is such an important right, and where where you need to adjudicate case based on evidence law, and certain civil procedure codes provisions. So I believe that it was better if a judicial officer would have decided the case, and not inexperienced lawyer who becomes a Foreigners Tribunal member on a contractual basis. So there is a huge question mark on the independence of the Foreigners Tribunal. A body, it's a quasi-judicial body. Any body which decides your citizenship, your identity, your existence, your right to have rights, should have a robust process of selecting their members, and should have wide experience, who can understand the nitty-gritty of various statutes, including Evidence Act. But unfortunately, what I see here is, one, the members are inexperienced, and two, there is no independence of the judiciary, because although the Guwahati High Court appoints them, select them, the appointment is done by the Home and Political Department. And in the past, we have seen that government have interfered. They have assessed the performance, although the High Court struck down that assessment process. But since then, a pattern have been set that if you declare more people as foreigner, your contract will be extended, and if you do not declare enough people as foreigner, your contract will be terminated.
Why do you think human rights organizations of the world are reluctant to speak into this matter?
It is not about the human rights organization of the world. I believe that if there is a wrong which is going, if there is a gross violation of constitutional norms, constitutional values, every person who is a responsible citizen of India should speak out. Institutions should speak out. Of course, human rights organizations, and policymakers around the world and in India should definitely take a note about this arbitrary process of adjudication of citizenship. Why they are not doing it now? A lot of people, a lot of organizations, including the United Nations Special Rapporteur, have issued a statement during the NRC process. Amnesty, if you go to Amnesty website, you will find Designed to Exclude. They have done extensive report, which is one of the most important report and the most comprehensive report. If you read, you will know how arbitrary the entire process is. So I believe even Human Rights Watch and USERF in the United States, they have also expressed their concern. So I believe definitely there are a lot of organizations, important organizations who have spoken, expressed their concern on it. It is important that the lawyers in Assam, they, the civil society in Assam, the Indian civil society, they should take this matter, speak out against the gross violation of constitutional rights, fundamental rights, and that's how people will come to know, that's how institutions will come to know, including human rights organizations. If you do not speak about a wrong, then no one will know, right? If you don't tell your own story, no one ever will. So it is important to tell the story. It is important to point out that what is going on is not right and grossly wrong.
During the witness meetings at the US Commission of International Freedom, you spoke how the marginalized communities are the ones who are adversely affected of the citizenship process. Why do you think only these groups, struggle to provide the documentation that needs for the citizenship process?
I did not say they struggle to provide documentation. I have already said even in this interview that it is not about documentation. People provide a robust set of documents. Everyone has documents. I have not come across any illegal migrants or Bangladeshi in Assam. So is all my colleagues who are fighting these cases. The marginalized community, either economically or otherwise marginalized, they find it difficult because, firstly, when your citizenship is questioned, you go to the foreigners tribunal, you engage a lawyer. It is quite obvious that, you are putting the burden on a person to prove the citizenship out of nowhere. And of course, people will have to engage lawyer. They live under the fear of proving their citizenship. So that's how they get affected.
There were people stuck in detention centers during this COVID-19 lockdown. What do you think was the role of Supreme Court in releasing those people? What was their response?
So if you speak about COVID, see, the detention center was set up in 2010. And people who are declared as foreigner, they are sent to detention center. There are 6 detention centers in Assam. And all these detention centers are premised inside jail. They have been designated as detention center. Government of Assam is coming up with a exclusive detention center which can hold up to 3,000 people in Gwalior, Assam. So when the COVID happened, the Honorable Supreme Court took a suo motu petition to decongest prisons across India. We have an organization called Justice and Liberty Initiative. We approached the Supreme Court and we prayed before the Supreme Court that even the detention center should come under the ambit of this order. The Honorable Supreme Court was pleased to take cognizance, and before this, the limitation cap of detention was 3 years, right? If you do not get any relief, a person will have to stay in detention center for 3 years. So because of our petition, it was reduced to 2 years. And for release after 3 years, a detainee had to give 2 surety of 1 lakh each, which was reduced to 5,000. So I believe that I believe that the Honorable Supreme Court should have completely relaxed the condition, released people out of detention center, because the so-called declared foreigners are detained to deport to the country of origin. The people who are declared as foreigners do not have country of origin apart from India. They are Indian citizens. So you cannot deport them. In the last 7 to 8 years, only 5 to 6 people have been deported. I am, surprised where did they find these 5 to 6 people. So I believe that the Honorable Supreme Court should have completely, relaxed the detention term and release all people, because detention is not serving any purpose.
Yeah. So there's this political consensus, on the need of NRC, but somehow its implementation has alienated people. Do you think could it have been done in a more independent and a better way if this consensus is true, if it does exist?
I don't believe there is a political consensus on NRC because it is only the Bharatiya Janata Party who supports the NRC. Are you talking about Assam or all over India?
I'm talking about Assam and all over India.
Look, in Assam, the NRC happened because of the order of the Supreme Court. Even Muslims in Assam who later became the victim, they also supported because they wanted a closure. Like I explained that, there are various way of arbitrary and random process of accusing people of being illegal migrant. So we wanted to get rid of this process, and we showed our utmost respect and faith in the Supreme Court that let there be a final process, and everyone proved the citizenship. And after that, don't accuse us or see us as an outsider. So that was the faith we instilled in the Supreme Court. In rest of the country, I don't think there is a political consensus. Only the Bharatiya Janata Party who support the NRC. And if the NRC did not happen, it is only because there is no political consensus. Only because people don't agree with this useless, unnecessary, and a tool to harass people, to strip their citizenship, which is a completely a thing of the BJP, and I don't think any other political party is party to this design.
How is RSS fueling the xenophobia in Assam?
Look, RSS has, wherever you see its presence, it divides people, right? It divides people. So that is what RSS has done almost every part of the country, including Assam. It tries to divide people based on language, based on religion, particularly based on religion, and try to otherize the Muslim community, brand them as bad in other communities, with other communities. They generally try to sow this seed of division and polarize the community by instilling fear in the mind of people's that Muslims are bad, they are outsiders, they don't belong to this country, endless thing. So they are doing it everywhere. Why in Assam? I think they are trying to polarize the society, based on religion.
There has been a huge outpour for the farmers killed in Lakhimpur Kheri. I'm sure you have heard the news. They were ran over by a union government's son. Protesters in Assam suffer the same fate or worse, but are rarely even spoken about. Why do you think that is?
See, like I said, there was no protest against what was going on in Assam. The gross violation of fundamental rights did not, people did not protest against it. People did not raise their voice against it. I think which was very wrong. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I think there are two reasons. Firstly, see, it is important for the civil society in Assam, for the political elected representative in Assam, who should have taken this story out, should have told the world what is happening in Assam. I think one, the political community have failed, and the civil society also failed to raise this concern, to show how people's fundamental rights have been violated. So I believe this is reason one. Reason two is that the media's focus has always been away from Assam. What some journalists say, travesty of distance. I don't believe that. I think if you believe every part of the country is your own, is India, then wherever whatever happens, wrong happens, you need to show it. Guwahati is just 2200 kilometers from Delhi. So I don't understand why the media completely avoided it. But I believe that I always believe in taking responsibility. So I think our leadership, I can't say our because I don't believe there was any leadership ever but the political leadership completely failed in Assam to showcase, to show the world that what is happening there.